Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. So, it is officially the 2024 election season in the United States. It kicked off yesterday in Iowa with their Republican caucus, which the results of that went kind of as I expected. There was a little bit of an upset that happened after the fact, but it went pretty much without a hitch. There was some very strong weather that happened. I think the wind chill was up to 45 degrees negative, and that caused some interesting theories to come about, but we'll get into that later. To start all this off, caucuses, that's kind of a weird word. You only really hear that around the election season, and if you don't know what that word means, don't feel bad. People participate in these all the time, and they don't know what that word means. So, just to clear that up, a caucus is when a political party holds a sort of election to figure out who their preferred candidate is going to be. And if that sounds like a primary election, it's because they're kind of the same thing. You know, the only difference with a primary and a caucus is primaries are held by the state. They're also not just for deciding presidential nominees. Primary elections can happen for a number of reasons, but in this instance, when you hear in the upcoming months, you know, they're holding their primary elections or they're holding their caucuses, that's what they're talking about. They're choosing who their candidate is going to be. Now, in Iowa, the results were a resounding Trump victory. You know, over 60% of the votes. It was a race for second place, which is what people have been saying for months now. Like, since the first GOP debates that happened and Trump just didn't show up to it, everybody knew how this game was going to go. They knew that the GOP was going to put Trump up, and this is, like people are saying, maybe it's the race for vice president, is what we're seeing here. Who knows? But Trump got first place, and then the official results have come in with Ron DeSantis winning second, and Nikki Haley winning third. They both get, I think it's 4 delegates, maybe it's 3 and 4. Trump gets the rest of them. The upset that happened was Vivek Ramaswamy has officially dropped out. According to a statement by his team, he is out of the race. So now it's down to, I believe it's just those 3. I think Asa Hutchinson has dropped out as well. If she hasn't, I don't know why. I think she got 1 vote last night. Chris Christie's out. So it's just these 3 now. They're the ones that people are going to be keeping an eye on. Now, as far as the conspiracies that came up about this, you know, it was a cold one in Iowa yesterday. I don't know if y'all saw that. Like I was saying earlier, 45-degree negative wind chill. That's cold. It's not as cold as Iowa has gotten, but I wouldn't want to be outside in that. You know, but it is January, you know, it's the Midwest out there. They can get temperatures that cold, you know. It's not surprising. But what is surprising is seeing people say that this was a conspiracy done by the left to stop people from voting in elections. That's right. HAARP, a weather monitoring system to study the atmosphere that's in Alaska, is part of a lot of conspiracies that you'll see on the internet. People talk about weird cloud formations, weather patterns, stuff like that. There are people who believe that HAARP, a satellite dish, is a weather control machine. Now, I find this a little hard to believe personally, because if I had a weather control machine, I wouldn't use it to make it cold in January. You know, I wouldn't use it to make it not the coldest day of the year. Especially not for election interference, you know. If I was a DNC operative and I wanted to interfere with elections and make it so Republicans couldn't vote, what I would probably do is wipe the voter records within like a month or so of this process starting, and also passing a law that makes it so you can't register at polls. That way these people show up after waiting so long and then they're told they're not eligible voters because they haven't registered yet. But of course that would be taking a page from the GOP playbook. This is the way that a lot of Republicans do control voting processes in a lot of states. They wipe voter records because they say that dead people are voting, or they want to make sure it's all legal votes. But then they get rid of all the legal voters and don't tell them they're off the records. Now, you can say that this is up to you as an individual to know, you know, how you're set up and what you have the right to do and all that, but if you voted last year, I'd assume you think you can vote this year. Unless you had some like expiration date or something like that, I don't know, I think registering should be a one-time thing. But, you know, that's a whole nother video entirely. It's election season now. make sure you're registered. And I get that voting is really boring. You got to stand in line for a long time. But hey, keep your phone charged. Bring a video game. I don't know. Talk to the people in line with you. Make a new friend or something. But please participate if you can. And I guess until the next primary or the next caucus, y'all try to have a good day.